Hi guys, it's Jamie here, and today we're going to use our old book pages to make paper beads. You can keep them like this if you want, and you would end up with some black and white looking beads, but I'm going to colour some pages. To colour them, you can do them in a variety of ways. The first way I'm going to do it is by using some acrylic paint and just watering it down to make it more like watercolour. That's the advantage of acrylic. Thicker it's like oil, thinner it's like watercolour, and you simply add water to decide the thickness that you want. I'm just going to basically get a very watery colour solution. I want some nice bright beads, and then I am just doing this. Not a complicated process. I'm just covering the page with the orangey tinted paint. I've already done this for another project in pink, and I've got some left over in pink. I've also rubbed in some ink into some, which again I've got leftovers of. So I will have a variety. You can create just one colour scheme or have a variety. I'm just thinking of quick ways to create something without having to use one of your fancy papers, although you can obviously use scrap papers, but you will need long strips. Napkin spares, I've got plenty in my scrap box. I've got these have been separated out already, so in other words the napkin has had the 2 or 3 layers separated from the print, so that when you put it over something it is pretty transparent. Just some Mod Podge actually. All I'm going to do to create a different look to a paper bead, this is rock hard because of course I haven't cleaned it, so this is not going to be the best spreader in the world, far from it. And I've just got Mod Podge over myself, over everything. Can tap that down a little bit. You have to do this very, very carefully though, because it can rip. The next stage, once the papers have dried, is to create some triangles on the paper. So going from the corner to the base, draw a triangular line and do the same again, and then reverse it. The bigger the triangle, the bigger or wider the bead will be. Not the wider the hole, the wider the bead. The hole size depends upon what you're going to wrap your paper around, as I will show in a minute. So you continue this all the way down until you have used up all your paper. Next, you're simply going to cut your triangles out. Now, just one of these triangles will make a bead. So you can imagine, with the amount of papers I've just coloured in and added some napkins to, that's a lot of beads. Then taking an object that you can wrap round, I've got here a wooden kebab skewer. You can use a pencil. This will dictate the whole size of the bead. I'm going to go for a slightly wider one because I have a thread that I want to be able to thread the bead onto easily. I'm going to grab a pencil. Hopefully that's going to make a wide enough one that I can thread onto. This is the slightly more difficult bit, not very hugely skilled, but a little bit. What you need is you need your glue, but you only want a tiny bit because you don't want it sticking to the pencil. Then you take your paper. I might need, because I'm not very good with thumbs and fingers, to do this. And you roll it as tightly as you can. Ooh, you can see. Ooh, if I hold that down with that, I might be able to do it. Yeah, tightly as you can. And then when you hit your glue line, hopefully, might have to spread that out, get a bit off where it's about to hit the pencil. Might be better to do this slightly further down or with a wider strip, because that is going to hit the pencil. You roll. Just want to check, yeah, I can still move it. So I'm going to move it down a bit just to make sure. The main thing is to keep the roll tight. Then, not too much glue again. Just run a very straight line down it. This hopefully will not now go over anything but paper. Keep rolling. This is actually a really easy pencil to use because it's hexagonal. So the roll is very, very easy, whereas obviously with something purely circular it might be a bit more difficult. I don't know if I've done it tight enough, that's the only thing. There's a bit of a give there that there shouldn't be, so I'm learning. That is the very first paper bead I've ever made, and I did it on camera. How brave am I? Maybe you should do it from the fat end down to the thin end. To me that makes more sense. We'll try that bit next. Then just get a little bit of the glue, because you want to make sure all your edges are sealed down. And then also, if you want your bead to be shiny, keep rubbing. Fingers is probably the best way to do this, even if it is a bit messy. All the way around the bead, so that when it dries it's got that beady shine. Don't quite know how else to describe it. You just take it off and now you have a paper bead. But what I am going to do, because stand up, it's sticking to me, right, I've stuck it over the corner. I'm going to try rolling it the other way and see if that's any easier, and also if it gets a slightly different effect. And also I'm going to try and do it a little bit tighter. So again, another little blob. That was probably too much, so I'll spread it down. Fingers are getting very sticky now. Grab your end. I'm using just some tweezers to do that because my ability with things like that is not well known. Tuck it in, and now I'm going to try and roll it a bit tighter onto that glued area. Now that's definitely easier because it's not going to hit anything but paper. And then I've gone slightly on a conch this time. Don't know how much that matters because you're meant to try and stay straight. I could try and bring it back because it's paper, it will mould into itself. Getting all my little pencil marks, but I don't think that matters because it's a bead, and when it's threaded with other beads it's going to be okay. I don't know if I've managed to get that very tight either. I might have done. See, some of that glue's beginning to squidge out now, which is good because it's just going to help you seal it down and also get that shine. It's not so good that it's come out on my mat, mind. Right, and then a little bit on here, and finger. Try to keep fingers clean. Obviously mine are going to have to be washed in between these, I think, because as soon as your fingers aren't clean, see, you get a bit of dried glue on your bead, and then pull it off. Well, I tell you what, that's my second one ever. It is super, super easy. I had a little idea that I thought might make the beads a bit more special. I have this gold leafy stuff. I've made the beads so far in different sizes, and the way I got the different sizes was by having wider bases or smaller bases to the triangles. What I'm going to do is with these two little ones is put some more glue on them. I've cleaned my hands so they're not too gluey. They're about to get gluey again though, aren't they? Use these as well. Get it so they pick up some of that. And I don't think you need to do it all over. I think you can have it patchy. That was my initial idea anyway. So just have patchy bits of gold. And what I'm hoping is I can add a bit of glue and seal that down and just hopefully pat it down. Okay, this is a bit more effort, but it depends how much time you want to spend on a project, I suppose. Oh guys, look at these now they're dry. I am so impressed with them. I love them. You can do all sorts of dangles and bits and pieces for your junk journals with these. Now, like I said, I've already got a ton of these. I don't know when from or why, but I've got them, so let's just see. Obviously it's going to fall off that, so there's got to be a way that you can get it so they don't. I have a ton of little scrappy bits of lace, so maybe you could do like add to the dangle aspect by adding some lace, but also it acts as the knot to keep the bead in place. I didn't see anything about how to keep beads in place, I must admit. But then I suppose I saw all of this on a African jewellery channel, not a... I know there are book channels that have shown this, but I actually saw this on a jewellery channel, recreating African jewellery. Maybe you do even more material or lace the other side. That might work. Get some different lace and do a different lace after 2 beads maybe. And I think it would be quite nice to have another gold actually. It's cute. You could put that in a junk journal, no problem. And it's been made from book pages. I love it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. And if you do decide to make some paper beads to decorate your junk journals with, let me know, tag me, share your creations. This is my first one, so I'm going to allow myself a bit of leeway on how I've put it together. I'm sure I will get better at this with some practice. And I will see you next time. Bye.